Welcome into Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Megan Payton. We have our mailbag show today in this video, but before we get into it, I do have like a side note question for you guys. I have a friend going to Seattle. She knows I cover the Seahawks. She's asking me, hey, what's a good restaurant in Seattle? I actually don't know the answer to this. So right now in the comments, will you guys go and let me know what's your favorite restaurant in Seattle? I'm going to pin this comment so I can tell my friend, make sure she goes to some great spots. As we said, we are talking mailbag today. It's our week 13 mailbag. This is where you guys ask us questions. We answer them. If you're new to Seahawks Today, we do this pretty much every week. You use hashtag Seahawks. You've got to be subscribed. Ask us whatever you want. And if we like your question, we will put you on our show. We've got a lot of things to talk about today. The first question coming in from Jose Sedano. He says, hashtag Seahawks. Is Russell Wilson's time with the Seahawks over after this season? Now, this seems to be a hot topic, a very common question that we get. And we did a show on this actually earlier this week. So if you haven't seen it, we'll put that in the description. But I will say, it may be, but it's also too early to tell. I mean, these rumors are going to come up. Trade rumors. Is Russell Wilson leaving Seattle? I get it. You're 3-8. Things aren't looking good. Russell might not be happy. And by the way, I could see him leaving. I'm not saying right now that these are out of nowhere. These rumors are just made up. I could actually see Russell leaving Seattle. I just don't know if we know yet because he's not thinking about it right at this moment. He's thinking about the fact that he hasn't been playing well. His team isn't looking good, and he needs to start winning games. He'll think about it once the season's over, but right now they are still trying to process the fact that they are a losing team, which Russell Wilson is not used to. Now, I am going to ask you guys this, though. What is the percent chance that Russ gets traded this offseason? Want to know your guys' thoughts? So go to the comments right now. Let me know what you think. How likely is this to happen? I mean, there's a lot of speculation. Really, we are not going to know until a little bit later in the season. But as I said, we do trade rumors here all the time at Chat Sports. We actually just put up a video called Seattle Seahawks News and Rumors, Russell Trade Rumors. So go to youtube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe to our channel. This is why you stay subscribed, so you don't miss out on videos like this. Now, guys, I have a random other question for you. Are you guys fans of sports betting? I don't care if it's on the Seahawks or if it's on different sports. Are you guys into sports? But I'm interested to know my crowd, if you guys like it or not. So let me know in the comments. Type Y for yes if you are very much into sports betting, or type N for no if it's not really your thing. Now, if it is your thing, I want to make sure you guys are using the right sports book. And if it's not your thing, I'm going to encourage you right now to check it out and just try it out. That's all I'm saying. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, BetUS is doing a fantastic deal. If you use our promo code Seahawks125, you'll get 125% deposit bonus, meaning you put up $100, turns into 225. The more you put up, the more money you get back. Now, I think this week's actually a really good week to bet, especially if you're kind of new to betting. I'd say maybe this Seahawks 49ers game is a good one to start with because I've read a lot of articles and some people are saying -3.5 for the Niners may be a bit much. I do think that Russell Wilson and the Seahawks are going to come ready to win. I don't know if they're going to win, but I think this is going to be a tight game. It could end up being a field goal. So if that's true, then you'd win if you put your money on the Seahawks. Now, another bet that I would like you guys to consider is the over-under for tonight's game. If you're watching this on Thursday, get them in today because obviously the game is tonight. Cowboys versus Saints. The over-under is set at 47.5. Now, obviously, a lot going on in Dallas with head coach Mike McCarthy out with COVID. Maybe a new quarterback switch we're hearing with Taysom Hill. I could see this being a high-scoring game. So take my advice or not, maybe take the over on this. Either way, they'll make sure you are checking out chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Seahawks125. All right, back to our mailbag show. Next question coming in from JC06. Russell Wilson is part of the problem in Seattle because he never checks down and he's always looking for the big play. Now, I understand what JC's saying here, and there's no doubt in my mind that Russell Wilson is struggling. Absolutely. We've talked about this again in our recap videos, in our news and rumors videos. This is definitely a topic of discussion, and Russell Wilson is owning that. I do want to give him credit there. He's not going in his press conferences blaming other people. He knows that he has to take accountability for that. 2021, you look at what he's done, 64.9 completion percentage, 1,800 yards, give or take, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But I think the main thing that we're learning is just, hey, he doesn't look like how he used to ever since returning from his finger injury. These are his stats in the past 3 games. These are the games that he's played since returning from his injury. A 55.7 completion percentage, 615 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I'm telling you, you would not look at these stats and think that they belong to Russell Wilson. This is unheard of for him. But I will say I'm not concerned with Russ long term. He's a dominant guy that has been in this league for a bit. He knows how to win. He's definitely not used to losing. So he's just got to figure out some of his accuracy issues. He is still overthrowing. He's got to find a way to get to his best receiver, DK. Things like that are going to improve. I don't have any problem believing in Russ. I'm not saying he's going to turn this season around, guys. We're staying realistic, but I am saying that I'm not worried. If Russell Wilson's the quarterback next year in Seattle, you got a great quarterback in your locker room. But we will talk about what he's done this season because it has not looked like the Russ that we know and love. Let's grade Russell Wilson's performance this whole year. Obviously, he missed about a month, so he hasn't played as many games as we normally would see him. But as you know, as we look into week 13, what you've seen out of Russ, how would you grade his performance? Scale this A, B, C, D, or F. All right, we're moving on a little bit from Russ, kind of, sort of, because the next question's coming in from Brian Nugian. If Seahawks were to draft a running back in this year's draft, who will be their best choice? Also, should the Seahawks draft a QB or draft a QB if Russ was to leave after the season? Sorry, I lied. We're not moving on from Russ, but we are going to talk running backs first. And I like Isaiah Spiller. If the Seahawks are going to draft a running back, which I think would be, probably smart of them, especially because we don't know what Chris Carson is going to look like after his surgery. This is not an injury that happened during a game. This is a long-term issue that he's been dealing with his neck. Kind of scary. So I don't know if they can really trust and believe that Chris Carson is going to come back and be this great running back. I like Isaiah Spiller as a guy. And before you guys get upset with me and start saying, hey, the Seahawks don't have a first-round pick, stop throwing out guys like Isaiah Spiller. I'm just going to give you a little bit of stats here. Last year, there were only 2 running backs that went in the first round. It was Najee Harris and Travis Etienne. Now, I'm not saying that Isaiah Spiller will 100% be around by the second round, but if for some reason no teams have taken him, I think that he would be a great fit for Seattle. He's a big guy. He's like 6'2". I think that he'd be able to handle the jump from college to NFL. Typically, these bigger guys have a better time adjusting into the league. He's shown his ability to also kind of be a receiver threat. So good option there, obviously. Now, if we're not going to take Isaiah Spiller, if he's gone, maybe Breece Hall. I like him too. I don't love him as much as Isaiah Spiller, but I do think that he would be probably the second running back to go in this draft. Therefore, Seahawks would have a higher chance. He's a little bit of a smaller guy, normal size. He's shifty. I think that, he's proven himself. Obviously, last year he was the leading the nation in top rushing yards in 2020. So you'd be great with him as well. Now, a couple other running back options for Seattle would be Kenneth Walker III. We mentioned him in our draft videos. So again, be subscribed. You don't want to miss out on these types of videos. CJ Verdell from Oregon and Tyler Goodson from Iowa. These are other running backs to watch out for. We will talk way more into draft later on as the season goes on and obviously as we wrap up 2021. Now back to his original question was, should the Seahawks draft a QB if Russ were to leave? Now, the only way that I think that the Seahawks would be inclined to draft a quarterback is if they were to get a first-round pick. So if you guys don't remember, Seahawks do not have a first-round pick right now. That was because of the Jamal Adams trade. So right now they've only got round 2, round 3, round 4. They've got a second, 4th round from the Jets. That was part of the Jamal Adams trade. They've got their 5th round and they've got their 7th round. So they're all set for the later round picks, but I just don't see the need for the Seahawks to get a quarterback in the 2nd round or something. It's not an amazing quarterback class this year. They've got some good guys, but I don't think they have anyone that you'd really want to stick around for in the 2nd round. But hey, if you were trading Russell Wilson, reality is you'd probably get a 1st round pick for him. So then maybe we reconsider it. But I am going to ask you your early thoughts. Name me a running back, or you know what? Name me any player that you would like the Seahawks to draft. Doesn't have to be a running back. Go to the comments right now. Let me know as we get closer to 2022. Who do you guys want on the Seattle Seahawks? And again, as always here at Seahawks Today, we've got updates all day long, all season long. And I know it's not looking great for Seattle right now, but we're still going to do overreactions. We're still going to do game recaps, but we will shift over to 2022 and what offseason changes need to be made. These videos are free. We work here at Chat Sports to kind of factor our videos to you guys. So make sure you are subscribed, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. All right, our last question on today's mailbag show is from Batman Fan 20 Batman, still my favorite username. He says, Seahawks sign Geno Atkins, trade LJ Collier and Rashad Penny, and sign OBJ in free agency. Well, this all sounds very nice, but I just don't know how realistic this is. I have said yes to Geno Atkins. We've talked a lot about this, so we're not going to go super in depth with him, but I think the Seahawks would benefit from this. I mean, no, he's not changing the outcome of this season, but more depth, again, a leadership role. He could help out some of these guys, especially with the mental state that they're probably all in, being at 3-8. I like Geno Atkins coming to Seattle. Now, they tried to trade LJ Collier and Rashad Penny. So, sure. I mean, yeah, that would be great. But before the trade deadline, those were the rumors was, all right, LJ Collier, that didn't work out. They haven't really utilized him much. They started to actually last week for the first time, I feel like. Rashad Penny, he's been dealing with injuries, finally gets healthy, gets injured again. I don't really think a team's going to be interested in that. That's my early thoughts on that. And then as far as OBJ is staying in Los Angeles, or he's not coming to Seattle. I mean, we saw the way that process went about and just how he had his list of teams. I mean, he was talking Packers and he was talking Rams. He did not want to go to any teams that were not Super Bowl contenders. So, hey, you're OBJ, you get to do what you want, but I just don't think it's realistic for him to come to Seattle, at least right now. Now, by the way, guys, if you are new and you do not know how these mailbag shows work, I'll tell you right now how you can get an edge to be featured onto our show. If you use hashtag Seahawks in the comment in today's video or on our videos coming up, get your questions in. Just make sure you use hashtag Seahawks and make sure you are subscribed, because we do not put anyone in the show that is not subscribed.